And I'm back. More Persona 3 Reload. And for once, I can do dungeon stuff while having things to talk about. So what do you want to talk about? I want to talk about the fall.
I hope to be of service today.
So we'll take everything that we saw in order, I suppose. Namely Takaya and Jin. Artificial persona users. Tested on. Very creepy, very Mitsuru, well not Mitsuru, but Kirijo Group-esque if they're, you know, based on the mob, I guess. Because it's not outwardly stated, but...
All clear to proceed.
Ooh, this is some jazzy shit. Oh, it's gonna be hard to see where I'm going in this.
It's an enemy.
But Takaya, Jin, and Chidori cannot use their personas like we can. The thought of, you know, using people like that is very bad. You know, evil people doing evil things. Now, admittedly, Takaya, Jin, and Chidori, their point being Persona users should be allowed to do Persona stuff, and you're shortchanging everything. It's really dumb. Why are you taking this away from us? Like, I get it to a point, but they're a little, obtuse. Jin less so, I think. But they're teenagers. You know, that's something to forget about, is this is teenagers dealing with this shit. And one of them has a god complex. One of them has, you know, a savior complex because he wants to be useful to his person who saved him. And another is Chidori, who's dealing with her own shit. Oh yeah, speaking of which, I forgot to check out the Junpei stuff off camera like I was gonna do. Really, it has to do with Chidori, but we'll get to that when we get to that. But I'm not dealing with that just yet, so I can just... as long as I remember to do it, I should be fine. No, fuck. But anyway, whatever. All of these are good. I don't need the money right now. I need the experience. Everybody needs experience to get to where Yukari and Mitsuru are.
Always happy to team up with everyone.
But the idea that they need to suppress letting their personas come out of control, that's some scary shit.
There's a shadow.
And admittedly, this Tower of Demise thing is a bit much, but again, I'm not saying it's not, you know, reasonable to think that some assholes would claim divine providence over some bullshit like that. But they're messed up in the head. They can only go so far.
Damage inflicted.
Ow, bitch.
Keep it together.
Right? So you had to get rid of them. They weren't gonna be nice. They were just gonna be assholes. Shit. Resist slash. Ooh, weak to. Oh no, it just got a crit. But yeah, you get rid of them because you have to. Because they're gonna come after you over and over. There's no like, oh, we can reconcile our differences and whatever. No, they're not gonna do that. They just have proven they're not going to. So, you know, they chose their way.
That was a spectacular finish.
Ikutsuki. Let's see, Ikutsuki being a freaking weirdo comes a little bit out of nowhere. comes out of nowhere a little bit. But I do give them credit for trying to do something a little,
Do you think there's any meaning behind all of the different patterns?
That chest looks like it's worth opening.
I give them a little bit of credit for trying to go a little bit off the beaten path and say, we were using you the whole time. It's a cliche, admittedly. But to be fair, Yakutski's always kind of been in a nicer... Fuck off! I won't even use instant death shit. If I've got the attack skill, I'll just use the attack then. Ooh, man, crits are working. But Yakutski is a pawn in this scheme, admittedly. He wants to be useful. He thinks he's useful. And in reality, he's just a weirdo. And he ended up a weirdo. More concerning was Aegis.
Justice always wins.
Aegis,
Good work, everyone. Now on to the next.
Aegis being controlled like that, at least for a little while, is going to tie into her character a little bit more. So later on, you're gonna be seeing more and more stuff with Aegis. And
Enemy is strong.
oh god, that's not good. What level are you? Oh, it's a dice, not good. Here's last resort. You don't, but you have ghastly whale. That's not good. Level 6. Curse dice. But his idea of the fall and all this stuff being a ploy to kill people and death via deliverance, that's messed up shit, admittedly. Anyway, back to my point. What was I talking about? Death via deliverance. Not a good idea.
The strong one.
People are nuts, and people will justify anything if it makes them feel better or if they feel they're special. So he has this inferiority complex and feels everything is his and he's gonna be the one and all that junk. I mean, that's more a problem with him than anything else.
Unexpected outcome. I've been knocked down. What's happening? Aegis has taken heavy damage. And now, just watch.
But yeah, death via deliverance, that's fucked up. No matter how you slice it.
Should I scan on this enemy?
And it's a terrible thought process. So no, don't ever believe it, don't ever think it, don't ever go under the assumption that's how life should be.
The enemy lost.
The fact he would go that far, biggest problem is he's one of those scheming villains that don't really do anything himself. At the very least, he did something to Mitsuru's father.
Anytime.
So, Mitsuru's father
Someone's confused.
suffers
Predictably.
for their sins, I think. So at the very least, he did accomplish something. The sacrifices, that's just weird. I'm guessing it was just, let's do it for imagery's sake, because it's a cool idea. It's kind of weird, honestly.
Who hit a weakness? Should I scan on this enemy? What is optimal?
But, you know, weird shit to do weird shit's sake is what weird fucking evil guys would do. Totally makes sense. In that weird, fucked up way. Blade of Fury! Ah, crap.
Results coming.
Ow. Stop.
That Amada-kun. Persona's ready.
So, a weirdo doing weird shit for weird reasons? I can see it. Mitsuru finally getting some character development other than being the... You know, that was something I was waiting on. We finally started seeing everybody else get things, but Aigis and Mitsuru were saved for last. And Mitsuru has to pay the price in the worst way to get her development.
Should I stand on this enemy?
I'll take care of this. I've got this.
She pays the heaviest price. She's the one who started it. And again, I think earlier when people are like kept in the dark, that was her choice. And she admits that later on she should have done that. That's why I'm not as I don't harp on it as much as other people would. I have seen it here and there. One, because I think Mitsuru is an interesting character to begin with. So I'm willing to kind of overlook some plot inconsistencies and whatever. It was like, why did you use us and all that shit?
What's happening?
My head feels weird.
What to do?
But again, the thought of... I just lost my father. I just lost everything that means everything to me. And now that she's in shock, you know, she has to face that problem. And now I think the social link will finally come into play. It'll make even more sense because that is the social link I'm focusing on. So it's one of those things where
Looks like I'm getting even stronger.
it's a bigger deal because I'm focusing on Mitsuru's story. Everybody's trauma is different, and everybody's gonna... Man, I lost a lot of fucking SP. That's not great. Soul spinach. Yeah, it's fine. But yeah, now that we're dealing with Junpei's thing, we're going to get Junpei's thing, Mitsuru's thing, lots of people finally dealing with their own issues. And the plot finally starting to pick up and all this stuff. It starts making more and more and more sense as we're going. And I'm on that door. But what ends up happening is that people who weren't like always friends are finally starting to find common ground. People that were having issues before now could be, alright, I respect you, or I think something of you that maybe I didn't think of before. So the belief that everybody was just random people coming together, yeah, they were high school students, but outside of a couple of instances, they weren't friends. They were colleagues. You know, this is something that Persona 4 and Persona 5 didn't really do because most of those people were friendly-ish, you know, by and large. But in Persona 3, they were specifically brought in for a more dangerous
If you're
purpose.
tired, you should take a break. I'll work hard for the both of us.
And that was the important thing, is seeing people grow slowly together as party members, not as immediate friends. Because they're not meant to be immediate friends. They're meant to be people that have issues. They all have issues, working together. And that's the beauty that Persona tends to have sometimes, is you're not being friendly. You're not always friends with the person next to you. You're more like work colleagues in a way. Ow, goddamn.
Darkness seems effective here.
And that's something that tends to be forgotten when people are like, Persona 3 is, eh.
I'll end this.
But now that you see more of the characters, you see more of them trying to be more friends, especially with the reload version.
They've been shot. They're wide open.
That didn't work the way I was hoping. crap.
Enemy eliminated. Nice one, Sonata-senpai.
Uh-oh. Oh, this could suck.
Leader's been knocked down.
Ow.
Your persona's ready.
The last one. Target destroyed. That's it, I guess. All enemies defeated. Good work out there.
Because that's an important distinction. That they aren't friends, but they're slowly becoming friends through shared trauma. This is a game about trauma and grief. So it's not meant to be fun. You know, there are some fun things and some comedic things here and there, but this is not meant to be fun. You know, it's not as goofy as 4. It's not as, you know, free-flowing as 5, which is a little more phantom thievy, you know, a little more heist movie-ish, you know. So it's a little... It is not meant to be playful. This is definitely more Greek tragedy than anything else.
Opening this door?
And everybody is seeing losses, mostly through death. And having to come to grips with it. How do you deal with grief? How do you deal with loss? How do you deal with rejection, betrayals, all sorts of things? And if you didn't build characters, you would not really feel anything for them. That's why they waited this long to get to that.
Entering combat.
Because we've been with these characters for so long, it's finally starting to sink in that they are people rather than, you know, objects for a story to revolve around. Uh-oh.
Damage inflicted.
I'll end this.
Alright, world balance. Yeah, that's gonna be a problem.
I appreciate it.
I think we just smack it.
Thank goodness. Now it's time for a counterattack. Strong one. Be on your guard.
As long as he doesn't hit me with slash, I guess I'm fine. This might take
What is
help.
optimal? Blade.
Oop! Hello! Crit. Nice.
Here, G. I think I can use it now. Hear my prayers. Let me help you out.
Uh-oh.
One step at a time. Let's go! Down on my knees here.
Ow, that sucked.
Sonata-senpai's been knocked down. Okay.
Will this work?
Are you okay? Someone check on him?
Never mind.
Requesting permission to use this.
Thanks!
Evasive maneuver. You dodged it.
Keep it
That's
together.
our leader.
This is broke as fuck. I love it. I should just use Ken every time, so Theurgy is just there. But yeah, now I can hit himself.
Summoning. Persona. Engage.
I mean, it's not gonna hit me, so.
That's a win for the team.
Bye.
Good job, everyone.
So the item.
I'll be a better fighter with this.
Oh, hello.
Ooh, Prime. Also, I was not expecting to get through that conversation that quick. I really wasn't. Maybe, let's see, maybe you could talk about the differences with Reload then.
I think
Because what has been enhanced versus what hasn't. And honestly, everything has been enhanced. Because
Shadow detected nearby.
really the biggest thing was taking the Persona 5 quality of life and turning it into
No problem at all.
Persona 3. And by doing that, they have succeeded quite a bit.
I'm still setting up. It'll take a little more time.
Ah, you son.
Dodge the attack. Nice one.
Because the shifting mechanic is baton pass, basically. The having everybody gain something from their level ups. Well, not so much. That is something that they didn't do. The confidants buff you with rank ups. I don't think they do it in this. That's one thing that I think was missing. But having everybody have something new, you know, leveling up their theurgies, because that was their balancing point, giving them theurgies to basically counteract some of the new attacks, like characters having new attacks in boss fights. You know. Because you're taking a skeleton of a good game and you're just improving it. That's something that people wanted out of Persona 3, because, you know, the 2006 to 2008 version
But I will not miss my target.
is dated. Did you hit me? You fuck!
The two enemy ambush.
Oh no.
Take them.
Ow!
Stay calm.
Saw that coming.
Yay!
Impressive footwork, Sonata-senpai.
Well, it did not work the way I
Be a
was
good
hoping.
test of your
Persona's
strength.
ready.
But don't get careless.
Help us. Call in that.
Eat shit!
I'll take care of this.
One enemy eliminated.
But yes, giving them more, like, hey, we've got this theurgy mechanic that can really change the tide of battle.
Did I scare
But
you?
not only that, we have something like... We've got, hey, let's add in more stuff to do at nights. We got more... We got full voice acting for social links, something I've been holding out hope for since Persona 3 didn't have any. You know, because Persona 3 had a lot of good voice acting, but it didn't have everything. So it always felt like you'd voice act the main characters and the main plot points, but then you wouldn't voice act, you know, it could have been a space issue, could have just been a thing they didn't want to do. And now you have this thing where games like the Somnium Files and then this will,
That certainly went well.
you know, do full voice acting. And again, this is something, you know, Raincode did the same thing. Full voice acting. It can be a huge benefit. Yeah, you're not always going to have the best voice acting here and there. I'd still say stuff like...
This is where the stairs were.
Great. Try to make a point, and I swallow wrong. But what I'm trying to say was, you know, Star Ocean R2, right? The new game. I didn't like the voice acting, so I'm not as fond of it. you know, not saying it's a bad game. I'm just saying the voice acting let it down, and it's not great. A Yuden Chronicle, from what I saw, I haven't seen much of it yet, but I saw somebody stream it. It's like, it's fine. I mean, it's got Shinigami's voice actors from Raincoat, but I don't know anybody else. So I don't have much to base it off of. You know, but trying to add voice acting to old school games, trying to add quality of life, you know, because games like this, you need quality of life to stand out, especially against a lot of games trying to be, you know, those little bits right there that was added in Persona. I don't want to find the Monad door. I don't need the Monad door.
One-way teleporter, but there's no need to head back yet.
I don't need the Monad door right now. What I need is stairway. But again, getting
picking up powerful readings.
hell no, I'm not fighting you again. Getting just making this look really fleshed out, even if it is the same setting in every floor, right? Making this look more alive, bigger, badder, you know, making this look like it competes with some of the bigger names. And to be fair, Persona is a big enough name now, but you're competing against Yakuza, which is in the same boat. Yakuza has a good setup for its own things. Final Fantasy still, you know, what I say about the story, it's still the top end graphics wise, or still what people would consider a mainline JRPG game. You know, I tend to think that they've fallen off a bit, but some people might not think that. They might think, hey, Final Fantasy's still great, and I'm sitting here going, no, but the ending to Rebirth kind of sucks, but everything else is good. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. You know. But again, it's still a quality franchise, even if Square Enix doesn't know what to do with it anymore, or maybe not know what to do with it, or is doing different things than I want them to do, but that's my own personal hang-up. That's difference. So I'm willing to admit, you know, Final Fantasy is no longer the game for me, but you have franchises like East and whatever. How do you compete? How do you make Tales? You know, how do you compete with Tales? How do you do new things? How do you stay good? You know, well, Persona just adds to the formula without changing it until it stops selling or whatever, but it's not going to stop selling because it's still pretty fucking good, as has been borne out by this version being... The people knowing it know what a Persona game's supposed to be, right? But they know where, like, there are little bits and pieces in games that aren't as fleshed out as they could be, or not as... Like, again, did they have to do the bits where you're going gardening with your party members, or watching DVDs, or little things like that? No, but those were things that weren't in the original. They were things that they tried, that they added to. The benefit of a Persona game is that there's so many extra little things you can do to build camaraderie with teammates. These weren't in the original. You know, under no circumstances do you have to talk with frickin' Elizabeth, but I love those. I love talking with Elizabeth. Why? Because Elizabeth is great, you know. They kept them. You know, they're keeping episoditis, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. You know, the answer is a piece of shit, but I'm willing to play it because, who knows, they might make it better. I don't know. It's not gonna help Yukari not sounding like a fucking bitch, but hey. It's personal preference. Everybody's different, right? Oh, you suck. You suck balls. Anyway. But again, Persona has built on things. Just going from what Persona 3 was to what it is now. It is a difference from what, you know, a Final Fantasy Rebirth is trying to do. And am I saying either approach is better? No, I'm saying they're different approaches to the same problem, trying to sell a new video game. And I think this is the kind of approach, building off what you built 10, 15 years ago with what you've done recently and making a better version should be what you're trying to accomplish. At least to me. Again, personal preference is personal preference. Everybody is going to want flashy action and all that junk and whatever. If you can make a game like this, you're doing just as well with an action game as you are a turn-based game doing it this way. This is what Persona is supposed to be, right? If Persona wants to be Persona Strikers, please no. They have a good system. People know what a Persona game or an SMT game or a Soul Hackers game is supposed to be because they built it.
As they say.
If they want to do an action game someday, they can be an action game in a spin-off. But mainline games should build off of what you've done before. And guess what? That is what they're doing by reintroducing new people to a system by making it look nicer or feel better or whatever, all that fun junk. Because again, I've said things like, oh my god, I kind of like Ken a little bit more. I like the fact that there's something else to do with Shinji. I like that they've done a lot more with characters that you wouldn't have done anything with. They didn't have to do dick with any of these characters. They could have just released the same game, and all they did was make it look nicer. But they took an extra step and said, what if we do something else? What if we take and add to it? You know, what if we give you more shit to do at nights? What if we give you all that voice acting? What if we just do subtle things that are better? Just cool stuff. But we don't fundamentally change the gaming experience. Oh god. That is a blood red sigil. I don't like the sound of that. What I like the sound of is taking a break. So I'm gonna do that. I don't have any SP anymore, so I'm gonna call it a day. I got a lot of personas I can mess with. Alright. So here we go. But again, my opinion has always kind of stayed the same, right? I'm a crotchety, annoying asshole sometimes, but I'm willing to admit it.
Elements you need?
Lord. You know who I want? I want that. I need to find a Lilum. I need to create a Lilum somehow. So I should look that up. What I should look up is Junpei stuff with Chidori and how to create a Lilum.
This would be a wise choice.
Damn. It would be. I don't have money. Aw. I don't have money. Damn.
What kind of persona do you desire?
This would be a wise choice.
This is a sort of healer, sort of attacker. I don't know what Belphegor and Shadowball is. Chest. Well, Apt Pupil would help. The Myriad Arrows would fit. Belphegor. If I wanted to go buffer or debuffer and have some stat boosts, I could. What does Belphegor and Dionysus is just less of it? Shoujo's fucking good. He is like the best of any
This
holy
persona
user
is powerful.
ever. And he's cheap. Fucking cheap. So there's nothing wrong there.
Please choose what skills to inherit.
Well, he's already going to avoid light, so he doesn't need that. His attack's not going to do anything. His attack's not going to do dick.
It appears it will receive an immense amount of power.
So we can have him as a bit of elemental coverage.
A new power
So this will give him a little bit more to do than just instant light damage. Daisojo, that is my name. Thou, with a body not of rot and decay, but flesh and blood, let us welcome the day of salvation together. Daisojo and Alice are two sides of the same coin. Samsara is nice, and Invigorate is even better. Insta-kill. Promise kills. And there's a Null Dark to add to that. Even better. Repeat and no, I'm not gonna remove this. Okay.
Take all the time you need to consider.
Atropos. Chernobyl.
This persona is powerful.
Damn. I get rid of my healer for this guy. What do I do next?
This persona is powerful.
I can turn him into a healer, maybe. And I need an Aeon anyway, so
What do you wish to inherit?
maybe I could turn him into a healer. At pupil, doubles the chance of a crit. You know, I kind of need that.
It seems no new power.
So it begins.
Yeah, I kind of need that, though. I get rid of growth 3, but I'm fine. I am Uriel, the flame of God, an executor of justice. This power of mine shall now be at your disposal. I'm really gonna hate it if there's a death character. That's what I hope I get Moat for. Because, what do I have?
Please choose the personas you would like to fuse.
Yeah, I have these two. So, instant death is not something I'm going to enjoy.
Well,
So I'm gonna need Moat.
shall we take a look?
Or do I just get Trumpeter? Jesus.
This persona is
Fuck.
powerful.
Is he better? He's more well-rounded. But I need the Aeon. I need the Aeon one, so no. Harabah and Uriel. Atlas and
This persona
Let's
is
go.
powerful.
Alright, I don't need the healer anymore, so...
Please choose
Let's
what
see,
skills to
one.
inherit.
I don't need the...
It appears
Okay.
it will receive an immense amount. Well then.
Alright, he avoids instant death, which is good. So I balance myself out. My name is Mort. I shall become part of you, so that power of the underworld shall be yours to use. And yes, he is a dude in a coffin, by the way. He isn't the coffin itself. Yep. Yeah. Avoiding instant death. No boost. No. Yeah, you basically got... Ooh, and Mega Dolet too? Son of a bitch! I like this. This is my get out of jail free card persona for instant death and Ghastly Wail, because people have been using that lately. So, yeah. So you can fuck right off. And
This persona is powerful.
No, I don't want that. I don't want that.
Please choose the personas you would like to fuse.
Very well. We look
Okay, but I've got some new shit. I've got some elemental coverage, I've got some instant death coverage. Some interesting ideas. More importantly, I'm gonna take a break. Gonna look up the things I needed to look up. And I'll be back after a bit of a break. So I'll see you next time.